Hey, what's up guys? Alan here with EatSleepTrade.net. Gonna be bringing you guys the swing trading watch list and market update for October 3rd, 2016. It's crazy that we have already made it to October. We're going to be talking a lot about the SPX and the current consolidation that we are in. If you guys enjoy these videos, please do me a favor. Don't forget to hit the like button down below. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys have on your watch list going into next week. Alright guys, so first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500 and where we are currently at. And if you guys look at the last time we came down and tested our trend and then bounced off it pretty nicely and had a little continuation rally up into new highs. But if you look back, the sell-off was pretty sharp and then the recovery was also very sharp. And that's not exactly what we have going on right here, which is I think a lot of what's making a lot of people nervous about the SPX, and definitely what warrants cautious trading and being ready to cut your risk and cut your losses if markets make a sudden turn, become extremely volatile, and start selling off towards 2100, and especially even more so if they do break down below that 2100 support area. So the first thing we want to take a look at is this obvious set of lower highs, and that's really going to be the key next week of confirming if the bulls are going to keep the trend going or if they're going to be backing off a little bit as we head towards elections and things still kind of become uncertain in the economy and all of that. But on the good side of things, Friday we did put a pretty decent amount of buying pressure volume, so that's always good to see on the chart. We're back above that 2160 area, so if we hold that 2160, we're going to be back in this trading range that we were in for a couple months from July to the beginning of September, right before the big sell-off happened. And right now we're kind of just trading in this range of that sell-off, between the highs or the lows up here around 2170 and then the lows of this date down here, which are around 2120. So we're just kind of trading within that range up and down. There's no general direction. As soon as the market looks like it's got some strength, it pulls back, and as soon as you think it's selling off, it rallies back up. So there's a really choppy market, no definite direction right now. So we're just going to kind of watch this little wedge consolidation that's created here right around our moving averages and see if we really can break out to the top side of this set of lower highs. And the good volume on Friday is a good sign. Like to see that volume continue into next week and finally get that breakout over these lower highs and maybe even get a test back up to 2190 and maybe even a breakout to new highs. Obviously, that would really be ideal, but not probably the most realistic situation that occurs into next week. So for now, we remain, just cautious trading, keeping our eyes on the market and being prepared for any type of sudden volatility or market sell-off that could occur. Alright, so we've got a fairly large list for our weekly top picks, so we're going to go over those fairly quickly. If you guys missed anything or would like further elaboration on one of the stocks that we talk about in this video, let me know down below, and I will be more than glad to discuss that with you guys. First up on the list, we're going to look at ACCO, and you can see the nice trend that ACCO was in basically from February to July, August, before the markets kind of started getting that first little bit of selling pressure. And now we've got a nice falling wedge being formed here. We're under our moving averages, not too big of a deal, but what really caught my attention was the large relative volume on Friday, a nice little hammer candle. So that gives us a great risk versus reward entry, risking at the low of this candle or even at our low back here right around 940s or so. So this is going to definitely be on top watch next week for that falling wedge breakout to the top side, with our first test being up around that 1080 resistance area. Next, let's take a look at CLVS. This one's been on the watch list for quite some time. And right at the beginning of this large breakout and run with huge volume, we mentioned, wow, there's the next resistance is basically up at 40 bucks. And within just about a month and a half, the stock rallied all the way up to test $40, which was pretty impressive. It's had a pretty decent pullback off that $40 area now, and looks like a nice little reversal candle on Friday. Definitely not guaranteed. You've got some space still down to the 20-day moving average. I would definitely like to be a little bit closer than that because that would offer that great risk versus reward. But I'm definitely going to keep a close watch on this to see if any type of turnaround or move back up towards 40 presents itself. Could be showing some pretty decent strength here. Next, let's take a look at CZR. We talked about CZR a little while ago and actually attempted to do a little bit swing at the bottom of this hammer here as a news released regarding their lawsuit or bankruptcy, that they have against them. And it seemed like they were going to get some type of settlement for their bankruptcy or some type of settlement that would prevent them from going into bankruptcy. So it seemed like it was a pretty positive news. So I did grab some shares here, ended up closing out the same day as it just didn't really hold where I wanted it to hold, and sold off a little bit more the last few days. But now we've kind of reached down to our 20-50-day moving average, so you have that holding support underneath it. A nice little doji candle, decent volume, and definitely looks like it could be set up for a reversal here. So I'm going to be looking for any type of bounce play off the bottom. First move target would be up back towards $8. Next, let's take a look at ETSY. We had this on watch for a breakout over 1450, and you could see we did end up getting that pretty decent volume for a push there, and did test all the way up to 1570. It's since pulled back. Would have liked it to hold that 1450 as support. However, it is still holding that 20-day moving average. So going to keep a close eye on this in the next week to see if we start getting back above that 1450, and if we do, that could set us up for a run back up towards that 1550 and prior high at 1570. Next, let's take a look at EXAS. Alright guys, so EXAS been on our watch list for quite a while now, definitely given multiple opportunities, and we're right back down again off this 1780 support area, and you can see put a nice little bullish harami in on Friday. It is, however, below the moving averages, so we'd like to see possibly a bounce of the 20 off the 50 as it continues higher and the stock catch up to that, and possibly set up for a move back up towards 21, 22 for another test and possible trend continuation through this little consolidation here. So keep an eye, see if we can get the support to hold here at 1780. If it does hold up, definitely could give us a reversal here and a shot back up towards 21 and 22. Next, let's take a look at FOLD. We had fold on the watch list not too long ago for a breakout of this wedge, and that idea did play out. You could see the nice volume that it came up. It wasn't as big as I was hoping for. It has, however, pulled back since then. We're watching it for a bounce off resistance turn support here at 750. Wasn't able to hold that up either. However, it is now back down to its trend line and looking like it maybe wants to hold that trend. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this and see if we start coming back up above 750. If we do start getting back above 750 and we're holding this trend, that could possibly get me interested in re-entering back into this for a swing breakout or move at least back up over 8. All right, let's take a look at HALO. We're still looking for this to kind of hold that $12 support area. You can see the little hammer candle on Friday, and it did have fairly good volume relative to the rest of the chart and is holding that 20-day moving average, so that is closing in on the pullback here. So going to be looking for any type of breakout back above 12 or our prior highs here around 1250, and maybe look for a possible re-entry. I did attempt this once off the $12 area, I believe here. Did get stopped down on that, nothing major, but still looks like the chart's set up. So I'm going to be watching, see if we get some more momentum following through into next week, and possibly a re-entry for that for a move up towards 13. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at NYLD. Still just a nice stock that's trending up, and you can see that we're right up near our uptrend line now, and still been consolidating off these highs around 1850, 1860 for about 2 months now, and chart looks really good and healthy. So going to be looking for this 1680, 1675 area to hold as support, as well as that trend line, and a move back up and a breakout over this set of lower highs. We did get one little fake breakout back here, and now we're consolidating Now inside of this wedge, including with that trend line, we're going to look for the breakout to the top side. Our first move would be getting back up to that 1870, and our resistance after that is just under 20 bucks. Let's take a look at RUN. We got a nice little chart set up here. We had a gap down, power earnings gap. It looks like they had a good earnings response. The stock broke out pretty well. Made a nice little rounding bottom back up to that 630 resistance area, pulled back, and has now bought itself back up to that 630 area. Nice volume on Friday and consolidating nicely. Got a tight range. You got your 20-day moving average just below that, so you got an obvious set risk. And I'm going to be looking for a breakout over that 630 area and possibly a move up and through 7 bucks. Next, let's take a look at SM. The energy sector has been really strong, so we got a couple plays that are going to fall into that sector, and I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on them. SM, we tweeted about this last week on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was on Thursday, about just the huge ramp that it was having, and it went from 33 all the way up to over 40 bucks, so $7 worth of range right there in 2 days, and is now consolidating and possibly making a little flag for us right here. So I'm going to be watching for any type of continuation over these 52-week highs here and a possible momentum breakout of that area right there. Let's look at SYMC. Tweeted this one out a little while back for this nice little ascending triangle pattern that's being created here. It's a nice strong uptrending chart, and you can see the 20-day moving average is still holding up and the range continues to get tighter and tighter. It's got good volume, so I'd say the breakout on this chart is going to occur basically at any minute, so keep an eye on that $25 area and look for that breakout of conviction over 25.30, 25.40. Next, let's look at VNDA. I had a nice breakout back on the 22nd over this 1640, 1630 area. It's since pulled back to that same area, kind of acting as support now as buyers scooped up the dips. The 20-day moving average is trending nicely, and it has had a few bounces right off that 20-day moving average. So going to see if we can get some volume back into this and see if we get movement back up towards 7.
All right, guys, and that is going to wrap it up for this week's swing trading watch list and a market update video. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Also, guys, check out the website eatsleeptrade.net. From there, you can follow me on Twitter as well as like our Facebook page, so you can stay up to date on all the stocks that we are watching and trading. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck into next week, and we will see you in the next video.